Guys, this is Kyle over here at BodyBags coming back at you with a Tuesday review. Today I'm actually reviewing a crime thriller movie with horror elements. It's got one of my favorite actors, David Hess, in it. This movie is called Hitch-Hike. It's the 1977 Italian crime film, which it does have a lot of horror elements involved with it. Love David Hess. He's in a lot of really great horror movies / invasion movies. You got House on the Edge of the Park, which I did review on my channel over at the Horrorphile. He's also in Hitch-Hike and several other films that he has been in. Last House on the Left is one of the more popular ones, the first Wes Craven movie ever made. A couple of things about this movie. This movie is titled by a couple of different names when it first came out. It is called Hitch-Hike. It also is known by Death Drive and Naked Prey, which those two titles sound really, really dumb, so I'm glad that the title Hitch-Hike is the one that stuck. This movie is directed by Pascal Festa Campanelli. I probably butchered that. I'm not really familiar with any of his other work, but he did direct this. Sounds like an Italian director. The movie stars David Hess, obviously, who is the bad guy in the movie. Corinne Cleary, who is Eve. She plays Eve in the movie, which is Walter's wife. And the guy that plays Walter is Franco Nero, who is super Italian, it seems like, because most of his dialogue seems like it's overdubbed very, very oddly. This movie is also, a little tidbit about it, is based on Peter Kane's novel, The Violence and the Fury. Never read it, just saw that as a little tidbit to throw in there. It's based off a novel. And there's a lot of backstory to this movie, it seems like. There was a lot of stuff when I was reading up on it that I didn't know about. There a lot of backstory and a lot of stuff they were talking about with it. Obviously, the novel being one of them, which is pretty cool that they based this movie on a novel. So to kind of get into the plot here, this movie is about an alcoholic reporter and his wife who take a road trip. And they're actually on their way back to Los Angeles with, in their car. They have a trailer hooked up to their car when they encounter David Hess's character, who is stranded on the side of the road. Typical hitchhiker's got his thumb out. The car's basically shut down, broken. He seems like a really, really nice guy when they first meet him. He walks up to the car and he's like, hey, is there any way that I could, get a ride or I can get some help? And, the wife isn't really 100% for it. It seems like the husband is just like, whatever. So they let him get in the car and they start driving. So you kind of learn with David Hess's character. He always plays such a great role in any film he's in. You got The Last House on the Left. He's an insane kind of like rapist serial killer. You got House on the Edge of the Park. He's pretty much an insane rapist serial killer. And you learn that in this movie, he's pretty much an insane rapist serial killer. He is actually on the run. He's a fugitive that's on the run. He was actually with two other guys. There was three of them, and they stole $2 million. He's actually on the run. He actually screwed over his two other partners, and you learn that he's just messed up. He's just a crazy ex-con. So first part of the movie, the first little while they're in the car, things seem all right. They think he's kind of a weird dude, but things seem all right. Then he gets really pushy, and then they realize that they're being basically held hostage in this car by him. He pulls out a gun. Basically, he's in the back seat. He's holding it. Making them drive and telling them where to go. Requesting that Walter give him his booze, and he's drinking. They're getting drunk together, pretty much. Certain scenes of the movie where Walter and him kind of seem like they're kind of getting along in certain scenes of the movie when they're stopping certain nights and resting. It seems like Walter and David Hess's character's name's Konitz. Kind of a hard name to pronounce or even remember. I'm pretty sure it's a fake name that he gives them in the movie. His name's Adam Konitz, but he's called Konitz. But pretty much Walter and him start to kind of get along in some ways, but in some ways Walter just kind of sees him as obviously as this crazy guy. He needs to somehow kill this dude and get him away. There's one scene where the two partners that Konitz screwed over show up on their campsite and start shooting at Konitz, at Adam Konitz, and I guess that at some point they did hit him, and the other fugitives grab Walter and Eve, and they put them in the car, and they pretty much steal Walter and Eve. So they take them away. They're trying to get to the border of Mexico. Well, all of a sudden out of nowhere, this truck starts following them, and you see like kind of a chase ensue, and it's Konitz in the truck. Obviously, he didn't get hit, I guess, bad enough to die or anything. And he kills both his partners, or his ex-partners, and retakes Eve and Walter hostage. I don't want to get to the end of the movie, because the end of the movie, actually, I really enjoyed this movie, like, thoroughly. Like, throughout this movie, I've really not seen a David Hess movie that I just did not like. But this movie I thoroughly enjoyed. Did have a kind of a twist kind of plot at the end, which was kind of generic, but at the same time, it was really cool, like, how they did it. They end up going to, the last thing I will say about the plot is they end up going back to a campsite after David Hess takes Walter and Eve back over, and he ends up raping Eve in front of Walter while he watches, makes him watch. It's kind of a hard thing to watch. It's kind of a cheesy rape scene, but it's kind of hard because the guy that plays Walter, what's his name, Franco Nero, he has this really look about him, like this bold look, and he's very manly, and you see him watching his wife get raped, and it's just very, I mean, it's sad. I mean, he just looks very, very upset. I mean, he's an alcoholic, but at the same time, he's not that bad of a guy. He's nowhere near as bad as Konitz, or David Hess's character. And you just watch him watching his wife get raped, and it's just really kind of upsetting in a way. A couple of tidbits about this. I enjoyed the director, the way this movie is directed. I enjoyed the plot of this movie. I really enjoyed the casting of this movie. It's very well directed. It seems like a lot of scenes are directed in this car that they're in, which seems like it's kind of a hard thing to direct in a car and get it right, but they did get it right. There's a lot of action. There's one scene at the beginning of the movie where David Hess, right after he takes over the car and takes them over hostage, he shoots these two cops in the head, and there's a little bit of blood and gore there. But highly recommend this movie. I give this movie personally a 9 out of 10. I have not seen a David Hess movie that I did not like. Most of his movies aren't straight horror. House on the Edge of the Park was a home invasion movie. Last House on the Left is horror, but it's more like a rape revenge kind of horror. So not like horror as in, ooh, I'm scared. It's just kind of horror as in shocking. This movie kind of is up there with those two. It's the less horror of the three, but it's still a great movie. Highly recommend it, 9 out of 10. Let me know if you guys have seen this movie. Give it a thumbs up. Share this. Let me know what you thought about the movie. I'd love to hear if you guys have seen it. I actually watched it, like I said, for the first time a couple of days ago. Really enjoyed it. I'm really into those Italian horror, Italian crime films. So let me know what you think. Thumbs up. Like my channel. I say this at the end of every video. Go to the Horrorphile. And like my channel. I'm actually doing a video nasties series and a disturbing movie series. So I am reviewing some video nasties, and I actually did review House on the Edge of the Park, so check that out. Till next Tuesday, appreciate you guys tuning in. Peace.